Hello everyone, welcome back to the second part of tonight's program. That is the explanation on the sadhana. The empowerment is the actual just teaching, giving the formal permission to blessings and permission. Then there is a lung. The lung is the oral transmission of the sadhana, and then followed by the teaching. So I'll first do the lung of the sadhana. Lama Chodak Rela Roma Sama Shaja Shajima Shadam Boni Yang Mebe Shinga Yagada Bema Omani Narwada Jebe Judwana Yabaji Run Jebe Kataba Jabaji Run Jebe Kataba Jeshuba De Rom Dimratuko On Le Zerbe Sanje Juzama Juzuna Saman Zamba Wangelangar Gandino Benda Zivatam Yadrangong, so Shezo, the Vesatan Batam Yen, so Shezo, Shezo, Lama Yalu, but origin to Van the getting to High Tari to the Returns of Shivichin, the Jum de Metal Simon Maleva Zado. You and the new to so that's the lung. The lung is the actual, the reading or oral transmission of the sadhana. So that's the second. The third is the T, which is the teaching or guidance, how to formally do the practice. These constitute three parts. First is the preliminary. Then main meditation, and then the conclusion. Preliminary is identical to all the other 21 Tara practices. The only difference is the main practice. So the preliminary are two kinds, common preliminary and uncommon preliminary. The common preliminary consists of refuge and the generation of bodhicitta. Why is refuge necessary as a common preliminary? All Buddhist practices and Mahayana practice have a refuge in the Triple Gem, because there are many Indian spiritual traditions who also have worshipping Brahma, Indra, and so on deities, but they never take refuge in the Triple Gem. So in order to distinguish that this is not a worldly deity yoga that are practiced by other Indian religious tradition, we have to first of all authenticate that this deity yoga is Buddhist, comes from Buddhist Tantra. So that's why refuge. Refuge is not in anything but Triple Gem, in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha gem. Buddha is not a being, but Buddha is an enlightened one. Enlightened one who is perfectly enlightened one is so few and so rare and so perfect. So therefore, refuge in the Buddha, and then the refuge in the Dharma. Even the Buddha is not with us physically, but yet he taught the Dharma. Dharma that he taught makes us so inspired and so motivated that we feel like we found safety. We found sanity, we found knowledge, we discovered the truth. Dharma is so authentic, so true, so logical, so sane, and so protective. When you have Dharma in your thought and your mind, and you know how to protect yourself from your own inner enemies. You do not misunderstand external enemy as the enemy, but rather external enemy as a reflection of your unconquered inner enemy. So therefore, Dharma is the incredible remedy to this inner and external enemy. Particularly inner enemy. External enemies are pretty secondary. They are just manifestation of our unconquered inner enemy. The inner enemy are two kinds: the karmic inner enemy and afflictive inner enemy. Karmic enemy is the habitual things, and the afflictive things is a very subtle cause of this. And so these karmic and afflictive enemy are gross obscuration, but the subtle obscuration is the knowledge obscuration. So until we practice Dharma, until we follow the path of Dharma, we don't experience the cessation and liberation from the suffering and its causes. The moment people study Dharma and practice Dharma, then they will experience the liberation from hate, greed, and wrong views, and jealousy, and competitiveness, and ungratefulness. So because of that, the practice of Dharma is the real refuge. So refuge in the Dharma is so powerful that then you also have refuge in the Buddha. The fact that we have refuge in the Sangha is even more important. The Sangha is the actual lifeline. They are the one who maintains and continues the livingness of the Dharma. Because otherwise people think Dharma is rock carving, Dharma is some physical relics, Dharma is some scriptures or temples. Dharma is actually the living spirit of the people who believes, who lives, who breathes, and who look within the Dharma how to not to turn to violence when somebody is violent, how not to turn greed when they are greedy, but how to turn to Dharma, which gives the panacea, which gives the very method to solve and prevent the problem arising. So incredible, isn't it? I think so. I'm totally convinced person how true the Dharma is. Maybe my own realization is not so big, but my understanding and my acceptance of the Dharma makes me so supported. Like a mountain you can lean on. It will never fall and never collapse. When I turn to Dharma, no matter what difficulties, physical, emotional, whatever, social, interpersonal, they are nothing too difficult when you have Dharma to lean on to. So therefore, when you practice Tara sadhana, any Tara sadhana, whether yellow, power-granting Tara, it is refuge in the Triple Gem that makes the yellow power-granting Tara practice so special. So therefore you must not put extraordinary emphasis on anything but Dharma. Tara is the enlightened activities. She is the one who makes happen for people to practice the Dharma, the medicine, the healing, the forgiveness, the power. You don't need any power to conquer anyone. If you have loving kindness, if you have compassion, if you have the right view, you can easily benefit and conquer, and no harm others will ever harm you. You are only harmed by your own vulnerability to your own karma and affliction. So yellow Tara is to empower you to reclaim your true wisdom and sanity through the yellow Tara practice. So that's why we need to do the refuge. Refuge in the Triple Gem really authenticates that Vajrayana practices are authentic Mahayana teachings and authentic teachings of the Buddha. Because even the other vehicles, like Theravadins and Pratyeka, they also take refuge in the Triple Gem, Buddha Gem, Dhamma Gem, Sangha Gem. They couldn't disagree with that. And so that's why taking refuge is the very core foundation. Then the generational bodhicitta. Generational bodhicitta, of course, you said that you're going to practice this for the benefit of all sentient beings. You're going to do the Tara sadhana. So you spell out your objectives right at the beginning, at the start of the practice. Yes, at the start of the practice you say that. So that renews your general bodhicitta. Even though people do deity yoga, but if they practice deity yoga without bodhicitta motivation, then it could not be Mahayana, let alone Vajrayana. So please make sure that the refuge and bodhicitta are must, fundamental foundation. So that's why you have refuge and bodhicitta. Refuge promotes restores your broken vows of the pratimoksha, and the bodhicitta promotes and restores your bodhisattva vows. So these two are mandatory preliminary before you do any of the other practice. The second is uncommon preliminaries. Uncommon preliminaries is uncommon in the sense this is only people who understand the concept of the two kayas, the form body and the wisdom body. Form is called Rupakaya, and the wisdom is called Dharmakaya. Those who knows the ultimate aim is to attain the two kayas, they know they have two obscurations, afflictive and cognitive obscuration to allay. So in order to allay the karmic and afflictive obscuration, you need to develop accumulation merit. And to overcome the cognitive obscuration, you need to develop the accumulation of wisdom. So it is for this reason you then move on to doing the accumulation merit in the sadhana practice. After you generate bodhicitta, then you, from your heart, rays of light issue from the syllable. This is the seed syllable for this is a ray. Yellow syllable ray in your heart issues out. Then in the space it invokes the Tara together with the Amoghasiddhi, the enlightened activity Buddha, and surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and particularly 21 Taras, appears before you. The appearance of the Tara comes from three. Mantra, that is the Om Vajra Samaja. The mudra, that's the hand gesture like this, Om Vajra Samaja. You need to touch the right fist on the left fist like this. That's the mudra. And then snap the finger and the cross of the hand. So that's the mudra. Mantra you verbally say, physically, mudra you physically performed, and dhyana you mentally meditate. Mentally meditate means this unveiling of all the taras in presence of you. Why are you inviting tara? So that you ask them to become your shrine, in the presence of whom you're going to you're going to pay homage and then make offerings. So Namo Guru Be means homage to the Guru. Nama Om Aryatara Saparivare Be means homage to the holy Aryatara along with your retinue. So that's the paying homage. Paying homage is accumulation merit, because paying homage is humility. When you have humility, you can benefit other people, so remove the obscurations. And then you make 8 offerings. So 8 offerings are drinking water, feet washing water, flower, incense, lamp, perfume, food, and music. These 8 offerings that you are making are respectively the drinking water is made offering to the mouth, feet washing on the feet, then the flower is to the head, incense to the nose, lamp to the eyes, perfume to the heart, the chest, food to the tongue, yeah, and then music to the ear. So these are the 8 offerings you give to those 8 relevant sense organs. And why are you making these 8 offerings to the five sense organs of the Tara is so as to for you to restore your sensibility. Your own senses right now are completely obscured and tainted by your karma and affliction. For instance, we have so much lack of knowledge. We have a poverty-stricken of the true knowledge. So therefore we need to, when we offer the drinking water to the mouth of the Tara, it actually says that we need to quench our thirst for seeking knowledge. Until we found the Dharma knowledge, we definitely have reason to feel thirsty. So drinking water. Then second is the offering for the feet washing water. Even if you have knowledge, but the one who has knowledge usually is biggest hazard for him or her with knowledge is arrogance, is a lack of humility. So that's why we need to wash the feet of dust of pride. So you got dirty feet all over the place due to pride. So we need to wash the dirt on the feet of pride, so that we can develop humility. So those are the first 2. The third is making flower offering. Flower is offered. So whenever you see Buddhist temples or homes, people make flowers. The flower itself temporarily looks very beautiful for the eyes, but even more important is the flower is to blossom yourself. If you're lazy, you become more punctual. If you are miserly, you become generous. If you become too rigid, you become relaxed. So these are the flowers. Flower means blossom. Blossom means transformation. Transformation means change. And so the flower that doesn't blossom, it's no flower, really. So we need to blossom in front of someone who's really aggressive to you, but we need to blossom in front of them with patience and tolerance. That's a real flower. Of course, it's good to place flowers in front of Buddha images. It's even better if you can flower yourself. So that's what the flower is. Then the fourth one is incense. Incense offered to the nose. But here we are offering the nose really means smell or sensing. So you need to have a kind of a practice of sincerity and honesty. If you have these, then that's the best kind of person who is very honest and sincere in themselves. They definitely are not interested in inciting the flow of others, because he's got his own flows to purify and make them blossom. So the flower is over to the nose. Then the lamp is over to the eyes. Eyes, offering the lamp to the eyes means sight. Sight means most sentient beings are blind, because they are totally born blind due to karma and affliction. They don't know what is right, what is wrong, what is compassion, what is not. So they all need to open the eyes. So that's why open eyes. When you offer the lamp, we need to think, may all beings gain their sight back, because they're blinded by that's looking for the wrong things or seeing only wrong things. So that's why offering is made to the eyes, and then lamp is offering. Then the next one is offering to the chest. That's perfume. Perfume is offered to the chest. The real perfume is not the kind of perfume that are in a bottle. Real perfume is the what we call real perfume is the faith, reservoir of faith. The faith in the Dharma and the teaching and the lineage has to be so strong. No matter what difficulties are happening, do not let them derail, but deepen your practice. That is the real what you call the faith, the reservoir of faith. So chest offering of the mask or perfume to the chest is so that your heart is filled with the love and faith and devotion and all the qualities. And then after that is food. Food is offered to the tongue, but real food is the food for thought, meditation. Meditation will give you incredible clarity and rationality like no other people can do it for you. So that's why we need to, the offering in scented water, the seventh offering is to represent us resorting to the, to meditation, so that we do not neglect our meditation practices. Whether it's Vajrayana or Theravada or Bodhisattva, you should always try to do your meditation practice. That's a real food. Real food is meditation. Then the music is over to the ear, so that for that you need to visualize the real music is not some other instruments, but real music is saying no harsh words, and then be respectful, be courteous, and be those who are discourteous, we don't hear them as offensive, we hear them as a compassion. So that kind of merit we usually lack. So in order to acquire all this above mentioned list of merit, we need to make these 8 offerings mentally, verbally, and mantrically. And the reason for that offering is because if you give something, it really opens a way. So when you make this offering, it totally makes yourself worthy of receiving his teachings and the practices properly. So making of the 8 offerings is a very accumulation of merit. So you accumulate merit by making these 8 offerings. Then this is followed by the 7-limb prayer. The 7 limbs are compassion, rejoicing, generation, ultimate bodhicitta, 3rd, refuge is the 4th, wishing generation, wishing bodhicitta is the 5th, wishing to cultivate, actualize the wishing bodhicitta in action is the 6th, and then dedication merit is the 7th. So that is pretty very explicit in the sadhana. I will not need to go. So that concludes the accumulation merit by making offerings and 7-limb prayer. Next is accumulation merit by meditating on the 4 immeasurable, because every sentient being is a potential object of your merit. Should you able to be fit emotionally to practice loving kindness too, so is also practicing compassion too. If sentient beings are going through difficulties, their traits are there, you need to show great loving compassion to them. You shouldn't judge or throw stone at them. People have flaws, but it's not that flawlessness it's important. It's how do you help those with the flaws is the decency. So therefore, Bodhisattva is here practicing, developing the loving kindness and compassion, joyfulness and equanimity. They are called immeasurable because they're immeasurable sentient beings for whose sake you're cultivating this. The duration might be as uncountable as you can possibly imagine. Practicing loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, We will be practicing that at all times, So that is the practice. So that concludes accumulation merit in relation to sentient being as well. Now comes the main practice. Main practice starts off with the meditation on emptiness, which is accumulation of wisdom. And then the main deity yoga starts with the generation of yourself from the seed syllable pam. Here the seed syllable is same as what do you call? Tara is the one who bestowed the power, and this yellow Tara is generating from seed syllable palm, which become red lotus flower. And then on top of the lotus is the moon disk. So the moon disk and lotus represent respectively the relative and ultimate bodhicitta. On top of that, you have the crocodile or makara is the mount on top of that on the moon, and then on top of that is the seed silver ray that is yellow in color, and the yellow silver ray rays of light, honors Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heals all sin, reabsorbs back into silver ray, and then you instantly take the form of a yellow Tara. Becoming yellow Tara is called the actual self-generation, generating yourself as a Tara, and who is one face and four-armed. Tara is yellow in color. For her first two hands refers to first right hand, and the second right hand are holding the branch of some akshobhya tree together with the lotus. So those are two-handed milliments is a branch of Ashoka tree as well as lotus. Then the two lower hands are holding a jewel and in the gesture of granting excellent boon and holding a vase. So those are the specific gesture and color and hand implements of this unique Tara called yellow, power granting Tara, and seated in the diamond posture. Seated in a half lotus posture, right leg slightly outstretched, left bending forward. And so that's the Samaya Sattva. Then after you have generated Samaya Sattva, you need to first invoke the wisdom being, Jnana Sattva. You invoke Jnana Sattva through mantra, Om Vajrasamanja, Mudra by this gesture, and then Dhyana by concentration. So you visualize the appearance of the Tara together with all the space enlightenment before and the wisdom being. Then as soon as wisdom being appears, you ask the wisdom being to absorb into yourself. Ja, Hong, Vam, Ho. This is the mantra and the mudra. Then you need to do the dhyana. Concentration is you just fuse, like water poured into water is not separable, not distinguishable. Likewise, as the wisdom being enters into ourselves as a Samaya Sattva practitioner, we become both now combined. And then again raise the light issue, this time to invoke the 5 deities of empowerment. And then for that you also do the mantra, Om Vajrasamanja, with that gesture, and then also visualize the appearance of all the enlightened ones there. Then you make a supplication, may all the Tathagatas grant me the empowerments. Meaning you're asking the Tathagatas, the enlightened ones, to give you the empowerment. And they respond to you by saying, just as the Buddha was born and were given holy bath and so on, just like that we also are doing this for you. So imagine while pouring your hand like this, imagine that you have been given the empowerment by the 5 Tathagatas led by Amoghasiddhi. And then that water pours into you, and then on top of crown, the water takes the form of Amoghasiddhi, green in color. After receiving the empowerment, purify your physical stance and attain the qualities, and therefore the overflowing, the Amoghasiddhi is that. So when you have concluded that, then that is the main part of the deity yoga. Then comes the mantra recitation. Then the mantra recitation is in the seed silver thumb in your heart. Then as well as other mantra rosaries, there is Om Tare Tu Soha. So focusing your attention on the very heart of the seed silver thumb of that group practitioners, you need to recite the Tam Tare Tu Soha or the specific the yellow powerful Tara mantras. And so you recite the mantra whatever number of times you have promised, 21 times, one rounds of mala, whatever the case. You can always improve on that, not only quantity but also in quality. And so that's what concludes the main part of the sadhana. Then say third is the conclusion. Conclusion is after you finish the empowerment, then you say that may all the enlightened one together with religion please bestow upon me the common and uncommon siddhis. So with this mind you touch the mala on your head, and if time permits there will be opportunity for people to like into the empowerment, but this is not empowerment, you're just visualizing. So you recite the mantra, make the supplication to bestow upon you the common and uncommon siddhis, and then after that you then adorn your forehead, throat and heart with Om, Ah and Hung, and then you conclude the sadhana practice there. The sadhana practice of yellow tara is mainly, we are mainly really defeated by miserliness and aggression and craving and ignorance, of course. So the quality of tara is to give you that, because this yellow tara is a Buddha of activity tara. So one of all the Tathagatas are activities, but yellow tara is even more so. So whatever qualities of each tara practice you need to become familiar, and doing the sadhana and the mantra recitation each day is of course very, very useful, very, very necessary. But it's even better during the post-meditation or throughout the day, whatever you notice is the difficulty, instead of those things shaking you or upset you or disappoint you or like that, you should see those obstacles as not a cause for you to fall down, but cause to give loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, moral support, whatever you will do. So you try to see whether how much you are empowered by receiving the empowerment. You got these teachings, that's what the yellow tara is for, whether you do the reading or not, but you try to amplify, try to emulate the qualities of that tara, how she does. So with this in mind, we are now concluding the tara sadhana. Conclusion of the tara sadhana after the mantra recitation. Mantra recitation is same as before. You focus on the C syllable in your heart chakra, which is then surrounded by the mantra, and then you recite this as many as possible. During this time, you visualize that all the Tara and her retinues are there to grant blessings of common and uncommon siddhis, blessings upon ourselves. So with this in mind, you then you can then do the dissolution visualization if you want as a conclusion. That is the top down and bottom up. So you are actually dissolving, and at the end, then once you're dissolving, there's not even a ball of light there. That also just fuses with the infinite universe, and so then that is then how long the practitioner stays in that state of meditation. So anyway, but while reciting the Tara mantra, if one can do a kind of a walking meditation or some other things, you can incorporate them, So post-meditation, you can incorporate the Tara practice with all the things you do, with so selflessly and so kind. If you need to learn how to integrate that. So the conclusion is that you make a supplication to be granted with that. So it's not so much externally granting, but when you do the sadhana, that's what you do. And then at the end you do the marking of the syllable Om, Ah and Hung on 3 places, as well as other joints, and then you do the dedication of merits. You do the dedication of merits of the sadhana practice, and then this will greatly benefit. Then you of course follow by a dedication of merits. Any special meritorious qualities were gathered or assembled, we also can share and dedicate that to many people, such as the world that is in a deep crisis and conflict. Many places are just like a hell on earth. So we should always look from the remote and not treat them as someone else's problem, but try to chip in your loving kindness, your meditation, your prayer for the world peace is greatly needed because being able to help somebody is great, but it's even better if we can empower them to help themselves through resorting to the practice of Tara in particular. So this way we will conclude here, everyone. I'll do a short dedication merits of this sadhana explanation. Zonande damje zebanye damne nyebe dana bamjene yegana jebalan tubaye zebe zalan rawan rajo tejo damje renje jendela dage zonamandaye gando ba tenen rogen tejo dambe Rinchen chima mebe ne jo jen jamba ba jedran jamba da Kwando zamba de yan de jendo de da kunye jezo da loj Gewan de da dam je ra do ngo de zan jebe jawa dam je je Ngo wa gan la jo do nga ba de da ge ge we za wan de gun Sambo je je ra da nga ra je jan ju zem ju rinpoche ma je ba na je ju je je ba nyam ba me ba kone gonde ba wa ra jo je wa kondo yang da lama da Dami ji je be la long ju de sadhana lam je yen de ra zon Doje jange gompa nyo dojo janju semjo rinpoche ma je ba nam je juru je ba nyam ba me ba kone gondo mbe wara jo. So thank you very much, Sakya friends and all our fellow translators, and thank you everyone for helping, being patient, and continue to attend this empowerment. Is very inspiring for me also, for others also. May you be blessed by your own conscious ability to stay calm and change your thought behaviors, verbal behaviors, and the physical behaviors, so that you actually look like a person who has refuge in the Triple Gem, therefore harms no sentient beings physically, verbally, mentally, but instead go and help them, go out of our own way. It's not so much how much we know somebody, but the fact that every sentient beings have been our mothers. So to say that some we don't know is we should be very kind to other people. So Tara's practice, main Tara sadhana, is being motherly care towards other beings. We see this, quite a lot of people got those qualities. You can see they have really received Tara practice. Instead of pointing finger to each other, he didn't do this, and this sort of thing. You should always embrace the suffering of sentient beings into your palm or your whatever. Then it will really be cause of liberation and gratitude that is going to be very infinite. So with this we conclude this. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you everyone for translating, everyone.